don't have to be a politician to change the world. No, you don't have to be religious to change the world. And you don't have to be a scientist to change the world. No, you just have to believe that you can change the world. You don't have to be an actor to change the world. No, you don't have to be wealthy to change the world.
Hello everybody, welcome to another edition of Filmmakers Studio. Brent is on vacation today, I'm Steve Hahn, I'm going solo, but I have two of the most interesting characters we have ever had on our show, so they're going to help me out today. I have Elliot Davini. Hello. And Brandon Van Vliet. Did I say that right, guys?
Yep.
Okay. They have done a really cool film called Problem Solving the Republic, and there it is. We're going to talk about that here in a couple minutes. But first, guys, welcome.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you for coming on.
Nice to meet you.
Good to see you guys. Good to meet you.
Us.
Tell me a little bit about you guys, though, first, before we start talking about your films. Just a little bit. Where you're from. How you got into filmmaking, why did you want to get into filmmaking, that kind of stuff.
Beginning to wonder that myself. I grew up in Plymouth, Minnesota.
Okay.
Just always loved watching movies. Grew up on Spielberg stuff.
Favorite movies?
Favorite movies, The Matrix, Back to the Future, Indiana Jones, Willow, Jackass, South Park, things like this.
Favorite actor?
Favorite actor, probably Dustin Hoffman.
Okay.
That dude is amazing.
So you've always basically watched films?
Yeah, I always loved movies. And then
kind of gotten engrossed in them, that kind of stuff?
Yeah, and then we got a video camera in the family when I was about 10. And
I'm guessing like a high 8 or something?
Yeah, it was an old school
I still got my high 8.
They're awesome, yeah.
They're awesome.
And we would my brother and I would stage little things in the basement. And
before we get to Brandon, did you ever want to do acting, or you want to be behind the scenes?
Well, I always acted in the stuff we were doing just out of necessity.
Because you didn't want to,
Because we didn't have enough friends to cast.
Right.
Nobody wanted to show up.
But
I enjoyed doing it, but
for the future, you want to stay behind the scenes.
Yeah, I think I'm more suited for behind the. Okay. I mean, look at me. Yeah.
you got a voice for radio.
Yeah, exactly. The face for radio. That's
face for radio. I'm sorry.
I keep saying, yeah.
All right, Brandon, where are you from? Talk about a little bit of how you got into filmmaking, or.
I grew up in Nisswa, Minnesota, up by Brainerd, resort country, and I grew up obsessed with movies too. Okay. Always watching them.
Favorite 3 movies.
Oh God, favorite 3. That's so tough. Definitely Boogie Nights.
Boogie Nights.
Train Spotting, Weird Science, maybe Point Break, Goodfellas.
Point Break, okay.
Well, that's 5.
So how did it happen for you to get into filmmaking, acting, that kind of stuff?
I always wanted to do it. Like I was really into Saturday Night Live. Okay. Like back in the when Adam Sandler was on, Chris Farley and stuff.
Sure. And then you went to. We talked earlier. You said you went to.
Oh yeah, I moved to Minneapolis, St. Paul area in '99. Went to Brown Institute for Radio, Television, Broadcasting.
All right, so let's talk about, before we get into the film we're here to talk about, let's talk about some of the earlier works.
Yeah.
Maybe your first film. How did that come about? You want to show it?
Actually, the first one I did is Pong Wars. It's a series of short films, big Star Wars parodies based on the world of ping pong.
Okay, so and that's called Pong Wars.
Pong Wars.
Pong Wars. Just go to any festivals or anything, or just kind of on your own thing?
Yeah, just playing it for friends and family.
Okay.
And it's pretty bad.
It's a pretty bad. That's the first time we've had anybody on here saying that their show is pretty bad.
Oh yeah. No, it's terrible. But
we're pretty honest.
At least you're honest.
Yeah, but you got to start somewhere.
Girls.
Right?
Okay, so that's your start.
It was always just for fun. We never intended to do anything with it. It was just we enjoyed the process.
Okay, but it looks like you did the cool little DVD.
Yeah, all that came later. Okay. And then
the second one was.
And then this Paper Mache was my first feature film. We shot it on 16 millimeter for some reason.
Okay, Paper Mache.
Paper Mache, and just kind of shot it around town.
Okay.
And released it, and nothing really happened with it. And then I met this guy, and we
then you went into
dived into potpourri.
Then you met Brandon, and you dove into potpourri.
Yes.
Say that again.
Potpourri.
Potpourri. And this one is this kind of you pass out to friends and family, or do you actually?
I mean, we're still trying to sell this one.
Okay.
Looking for distribution.
Yeah, looking for distribution. We released it last fall, and just haven't really found a home for it yet. So
that's a good
challenge.
You brought up a good point. For the kids watching at home or future filmmakers. Besides don't do it, when you say looking for distribution, what does that mean to some of the kids or some of the people watching? How do you look for distribution?
So, wow, it's the challenge. Ideally, you get your movie done and you get a company to buy it.
So there you go, future filmmakers. You got to shoot a really good film.
Yeah.
Obviously have some good talent, and then just try to sell it, distribute it.
Yeah.
Okay, so we're here today to talk about your guys' latest film, Problem Solving the Republic.
Yes, sir.
Okay, so let's start from the beginning. Who wrote it?
Yeah.
How did you think about writing it? How did it come
Sure.
about?
I wrote it with my brother last summer,
Okay.
and it started out as just a series of emails. He lives in Chicago.
Okay.
Again, I'm in my parents' basement in Plymouth.
Okay.
And we were telling jokes about politics and about policy and government, and just trying to make each other laugh.
Oh, just
Through
going back
emails,
and forth.
just-
After looking at these emails, you said, hey, this is a possible film.
Yeah.
And then how did Brandon get involved?
So we had the script and we
Okay.
sent it over to Brandon because we put out Potpourri and then another film that we did, In Harm's Way.
Okay.
We put both of those out last fall, and then we're feeling a little bit depressed because there was nothing coming up, nothing going on.
Talk a little bit, tell the people a little about maybe your casting process.
Yeah.
How did that work?
Yeah.
Maybe some of the pay with
It's
actors.
a pretty small film community in town, and so we kind of know everybody from having done just a bunch of projects
Right.
and going to screenings and stuff. So
Right.
there were a handful of folks that we had
Kinda
in
already
mind.
knew, right?
Yeah, and had kind of offered roles to, or at least had in mind whilst writing.
Okay.
And then we had a big old casting call, and we found the rest of the people that way.
Okay. A little bit about the film. Anything interesting happen when you guys were filming? Any good stories? Brandon's got a little smirk on his face,
Yeah,
so I
yeah.
think he wants to take this one.
Well, our cinematographer got $20,000 worth of gear stolen out of his vehicle.
Ooh, that's not good.
Yeah.
How about locations? I mean, obviously, Twin Cities, but whereabouts and stuff?
Yeah, it was kind of all over.
All over, what was really cool was getting that hotel in Plymouth.
Yeah.
We were able to milk a ton of locations out of this.
Oh, out of the same
What was
hotel?
that? What was that called?
Crown Plaza in
Crown
Plymouth.
Plaza?
We got the presidential suite for one night,
Okay.
and so that was fun.
What about, tell us a little bit about the message of the film. What would be the message of the
I
film?
mean, again, it's got that Saturday Night Live influence. We're looking to kind of comment on politics in general and political parties, but have a laugh.
Talk about, you got Jesse Ventura, the former governor, obviously, of Minnesota. You got his son involved.
Yeah.
Yes.
Talk about his little involvement. in the
Yeah.
film.
He's a friend of mine.
Okay.
He reached out to me last year and was like, hey, we should meet up, talk film. I was like, cool. And
How did you meet him?
he shot me a message on Facebook.
And you've never known him before? right?
I had known of him, but
Okay.
I'd never met him.
We have some mutual friends, I think.
We-
that's
yeah,
all.
we're
Oh,
couple
like
mutual
mutual
friends.
Facebook friends.
Yeah. And some actors that we know from here who are working with him on stuff out there. I think
Yep,
that's kind of how
like
it
Kaiser.
Okay,
how
so
it
he
happened.
shoots you an email and says, hey, let's get together and...
Yeah, he's like,
Talk
you
about
guys do
some films."
podcasts. I'd love to do a podcast. I'm like, yeah, come on over, and so we hit it off, and then, we're like, God, who would be great to narrate this? And he's just got such his voice, he sounds like his dad.
Yeah.
So we're like, oh, it'd be great to have him, and then he's, he really liked the film and was really passionate about it. One day when me and him were heading over to Elliot's for him to do the narration, and I was kind of like, you want to come on and maybe help produce and do some other fun things for it? And he was like, yeah, let's do that.
And the Venturas have kind of a distinct political style as well, which, there's sort of fringe politics where they don't associate with political parties, and we thought that was a perfect fit to get,
Yeah.
Tyrell involved with this project, because they run that conspiracy theory show, which is all just about questioning,
Right.
Conventions and all
He
that
works
sort
on
of
that with his dad, right?
Yeah,
Yep.
and so we thought that it was a good fit for this project.
Okay, so it's Tyrell
Tyrell Ventura.
Ventura, okay. Obviously, you guys have done 3, 4, 5 films. On this film, what did you learn? Anything you can throw out to the future filmmakers?
The big one we learned is lock down your locations first.
One thing we got to make sure we get in, that Problem Solving the Republic got accepted and showed at the Twin Cities.
Film Fest.
Film Festival.
Yeah, we got a seal right there.
You got a seal, the official seal, that the Twin Cities Film Festival, which was about a month ago now.
Yeah, we premiered on the 19th.